So today we're out here in Cypress, Texas, checking out Marvida, and this is one of my favorite communities in the greater Cypress area, and I think that you're going to love this community. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Aaron, and every week I'm helping buyers relocate to and throughout the greater city of Houston and the surrounding suburbs. So if you need to know anything about where to eat, sleep, live, play, hit me up morning, noon, or night. I'm your guy. If this is not your first time here, hit the comment section down below. Welcome back. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know where you're watching this video from, and if you need a resource out here in the greater Cypress and Marvida area, I would love to be a resource to you. So I have a video of this community on my channel, but I came out here when it was super early. I don't even know if they had model homes out here when I was doing my video review of the community. And so I wanted to give you an update, some of the pros and cons and things that you want to think about and know when you're out here looking at a community like Marvida out here in Cypress, Texas. And there are some cons. There's not all gumdrops, sunny rainbows and unicorns. There are some cons out to being out here in Cypress, but I think that the pros far outweigh the cons when it comes to being in a community like this. And the number one pro, in my opinion, is that there are so many builders out here, like very similar to what you saw a couple days ago on my channel in Sunterra. There's a bunch of builders out here. I think there's like 15 builders out here right now. And so you're gonna have entry level, you're gonna have your Devon Street homes, you're gonna have your KB homes. I think you have Lennar out here, you got Chesmar out here, you got DR Horton. You're gonna have all the way up to your luxury builders of a Weston home that you see behind me. You're gonna have some K-Hope Nannian out here. You're gonna have Ashton Woods, so kind of stepping up into that more luxury price point of a home. And so because you have such a wide variety, there's an opportunity out here where you're gonna get some affordability that you may not get in other parts of Cypress. I know that I was almost shocked to see the other day that you could get out here and get brand new construction for under 300,000. Now it was like 299, 950, and you could get like 14 or 1500 square feet. And so depending on when you get out here, the affordability is definitely going to be a lot better here than it would be in some of the more established communities like a Town Lake or like a Bridgeland just around the corner. You're going to be able to get in here and have a pick to choose from some of the more entry-level nice properties that you can get out here. So definitely number one pro for being in this community like this is that you are going to have 14 or 15 builders to choose from and a ton of opportunities at different price points, so you don't have to break the bank to get in here and experience the gorgeousness of this community, because you just have different opportunities from your 300,000 all the way up to 6, 7, 800,000, however much money you're trying to spend out here. The second pro to being in Marvida out here in this part of Cypress, Texas, is that you are in an outstanding location. So kind of where you're tucked off of Fry Road, you're like a couple minutes away from some of the more premier communities out here in Cypress. So you are nestled up right up against Town Lake. Coming in, as a matter of fact, coming in, you see the exterior built of Town Lake signs. Around the corner from here, you're not too far from Bridgeland. So because you're by two of the most sought after and desirable locations in Cypress, you get to piggyback off of not only your amenities, but you get to experience the commercial infrastructure that is associated with those communities as well. And so it's almost like you're getting a 3-for-1 at a fraction of the price being out here in Marvida. So definitely from a standpoint of location is outstanding to be over here in Marvida, because like I said, fraction of the price, same size home, same options out in Bridgeland or in Town Lake. I don't think you can get nearly what you would get over there for the same price as you would over here. So definitely location and price, outstanding. You can't really beat it when it comes to living in Marvida versus some of the other communities out here in Cypress. So the third pro to living in Marvida is that you are tied to great schools. Now, Cy-Fair ISD is one of the top ranked school districts in the greater Houston metro. I know it's one of the reasons why a lot of my clients that reach out from out of state or from different parts of the city that want to move out here. One of their biggest factors for moving out here is in fact Cy-Fair ISD. And so if you can get into a great school district for this price that you can currently get into at this current moment in time, which is around $300,000, that is a great thing to be tied to some outstanding schools in the area. So you're not having to worry about being in a private school. You're not having to worry about switching out of district, because if you're going to get into a Cy-Fair ISD to the schools associated with this community at this current present moment, you're going to not have to really worry about the educational piece of it, which is super important because you're going to pay a nice little chunk of change. And so who wants to do that and then also have to worry about now worrying about public school or private school or whatever the situation is to make sure that your kiddos are in good hands. But right now you're currently tied to Cy-Fair ISD. You're pretty landlocked, so I don't think you'll have the same issues that, for example, a Bridgeland would have, where they've now jumped over 99 and they're into Wilder ISD. And so because you are where you are in this community, you're tied to Cy-Fair, kiddos aren't going to have to worry about school. So that's one thing that you can check off your list. And the fourth biggest pro to living out here, and this is one of my favorite things about being out here, is that in these communities that have popped up in the greater like Katy to Cypress area over the last couple years, you've really seen a push for having outstanding amenities. Yes, you're going to be paying a premium for taxes and to get into these communities. And so you want to make sure that you're having something that makes you feel good about making that payment. And more times than not, all of these kind of communities in that greater Katy to Cypress area have done an outstanding job of making sure that you feel like you're getting your bang for your buck. And Marvida is up there. They're going to have lazy rivers and pools and splash pads. You're going to have, I'm sure, the pickleball courts and playgrounds and dog parks and just event lawns and pavilions. You're going to have so much that you can do out here in Marvida that for the price, for what you're going to get for that is just outstanding to say that you can be tied to that for right now about $300,000. And so not too dissimilar from the video that we did on the channel a couple days ago in Sunterra. Is going to be a similar kind of vibe when it comes to the amenities that you can get out here. But I think that to get in, if you want to be in Cypress and you want to have that same feel, that same vibe of being in a Bridgeland without breaking the bank, you can definitely do it here at a fraction of the cost. Now, this is a much smaller community. I think it's going to be somewhere around like 900 acres when it's all said and done of developed land. And so if we're comparing that to Sunterra out there in Katy, not too far from here, if we're comparing that to there, they had 7,000 or 8,000 houses that they're going to have in their community. And so assuming that this is smaller than that, or knowing that this is smaller than that, there's probably going to be 5,000 or 6,000 opportunities to build out here. So you'll have a little less opportunity out here, and they'll be finished with construction a little bit sooner out here than they would be in Sunterra. But the amazing amenities still remain, and to be able to get in and experience all of the amenities that they're going to have out here, chef's kiss. I don't think you're going to want to miss out on it if you can get in right now. And as of the recording of this video, the HOAs are currently under around $2,000. And so to be able to have all the things that you see on the board behind me, the lazy river, the pools, playgrounds, dog parks, sports courts, the pavilions, event lawns, all that stuff, to be able to get all of that for under 2,500 bucks, I think is a steal. And it's definitely one of those things that you're not going to want to miss out on if you can get in a community like this. But like always, everything can't be sunshine and rainbows, right? Everything can't be all the way perfect. And because we are in such the early stages of this community, as you can see behind me and as you can probably hear around me, we are in the very early stages of construction. And so if there are several thousand home sites that are going to happen at this community, we're in the very early stages, and you are going to be in construction for a very long time. So the number one con is that you are going to be in construction for the next few years out here. I've talked to a couple of the builders. They have a couple sections kind of that they haven't released to the general public yet. They're still expanding. They're still cutting in sections. I came in off of Fry Road, and it's a road that they just developed to kind of go past one of their main signs on the exterior of the community. And they're developing, right? They're still building. And so if you don't want to necessarily be in a construction zone for a while, being in a community at this phase is going to be fairly tough on you, because you're going to have to deal with that construction noise for the next few years. So number one pro is if you don't want to necessarily be in a construction zone right now, this isn't going to be the spot for you. Maybe wait a couple years, but at that point in time, when they have all the amenities in, who knows what the price is going to be. But number one con for right now being in a community like Marvida is if you get in now, you're going to be in a construction zone for a while. Con number two, and this is not too dissimilar from any of the communities that, you know, I've toured, that have these grand plans, that have these amenity villas and all these things that are supposed to come to the community. Until that thing is in the ground, until that project is completely done, you don't actually technically know what is really going to happen, if these renderings are going to actually come to life, if they're actually going to be a thing, until they're completely 100% done. And so there's going to be a point in time where you've signed up for something. For these people that have bought and that are private residences right now, there's something that they're waiting on, that they're hoping that they get out of it on the back end, right? They're waiting for these lazy rivers. They're waiting for the splash pad. They're waiting for the event lawns. They're waiting for a bunch of stuff to happen and to come through fruition, right? And so what we're hoping is that for those people that get in now and that they've signed up for everything that they get, that it ends up being exactly what they anticipated. But there's a potential that some of these things can change up. And as I discussed in one of my more recent videos in Sunterra, I saw from the renderings that I originally saw for the Blue Lagoon, it had changed a little bit. They've done some net positive things and added some more amenities, but the original documents have changed a little bit since its inception. And so until this thing is completely done out, you don't necessarily know exactly what you get. So that's the number two con for moving into a place like Marvida this early on. And the third con, and this is probably the worst con for all of these new construction communities out here in the greater Katy, Texas area, is that you're going to be paying a super high tax. As of this morning, I did some research before I came out here. They're anywhere between 3.45 and like 3.65 or is the tax range that I've seen out here for these homes in this community. And so with an entry level price point of about $400,000 for a 2,000 square foot, 4-bed, 2.5 bath home, somewhere around that price point, you're going to be paying over $1,000 a month just for taxes. And so it's definitely something that you have to look at yourself and say whether or not that's worth it to you, whether or not you want to pay that much money to be in a community like this, whether the schools are worth it for you. If you don't have a kiddo that is, you know, at school age, do you want to spend that extra percent and a half to be out here and pay the premium in taxes for that? And so that's something that you just got to think about. Most of these communities have a mud tax associated with it to getting all the infrastructure, the sewer, the water, the trash services, all the utilities and things that are being built out into these areas. Most of these have a mud district tax, and most of these are going to have higher taxes because they're in a great school district. And so this is no different. So definitely something that you're going to want to think about before you pull the trigger on this community is whether or not you want to pay such a super high tax. So how did I do? Did I scare you away from wanting to move into Marvida out here in Cypress, Texas? This is one of my favorite locations because, like I said earlier, you can get out here at a fraction of the cost and still be damn near in 5-minute driving distance to Town Lake, to the Bridgeland communities and all the other infrastructure and commercial support that those communities have at a much lower, much more affordable price point. But if you want to go out here and get super lux, you can go out here and build you a big old Ashton Woods or a big old Weston home, and you can do whatever you want to do to your heart's desire. But for the time being, this is definitely one of the most affordable locations in the greater Cypress area, and to get these amenities and to get whatever you can get at this price point currently, I think is definitely a good move. If you need any info on this community, any of the builders, any of the layouts or incentives that you want to know about this community, I would love to be a resource to you. Call, text, email, hit me with a comment section, hit me with a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know if there's anything I can do to be of assistance. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have an amazing day.